I'm going to try my best. I know we're short on time. I'm literally only going to ask one question because what we would really like is an opportunity to have questions from you. And so I have a couple of my team members who are here. They have 3x5 cards. I'm going to ask them if you would like a card, pen, so that you can ask the question of the panelists. Please take a card, please take a pen, and then they will also collect the cards during the panel. And that's how we'll ask our question and answer. So I'm going to start first with just a brief introduction, first of who I am, and then our panelists, and then we're going to jump right in so that we can have plenty of time for questions. I'm a former prosecutor. I spent 12 years as an assistant U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C., and also did a couple of stints in criminal justice policy roles in the Obama administration, first at the Office of Legal Policy at Main Justice, and then in Vice President Biden's office as a criminal justice and drug policy advisor. I joined VERA a little over a year ago to lead this amazing work where we partner with prosecutors who are driving change, and have been privileged to be closely partnered with Kim and this amazing office in doing the hard work here in St. Louis City. So first I'm going to introduce Jamala Rogers, who I'm sure is known to many. As you know, and because we're short on time, and because this panel is so esteemed and privileged and has done so many things, I really am only going to do just a couple of highlights from their very long bios. But as you know, Jamala has been involved in organizing and advocacy for nearly 5 decades. She has been founder of multiple organizations, including the Organization for Black Struggle, a founding member of that, where she currently serves as executive director. She is an author of at least 2 books that I think I found, and is a contributing featured writer for the St. Louis American. We're thrilled to have you on the panel. We also have Mr. Darren Seals. Darren is the founder of the Sankofa Unity Center, which is an anti-violence intervention organization that literally goes to those that society has discarded. You will find him in the drug houses, you will find him in the courthouses, you will find him getting the young men who need the attention that no one else is paying. He's also the founder of, and I want to get this right, it's called 1,000 Thugs, which stands for True Help Under God's Salvation Ministries, where his goal is to create 1,000 change agents like himself in service to his community. And he's brought this amazing experience now to the attorney's office and is directly involved, as you saw in the video, in the diversion program, and we look forward to hearing from him. We also have Credit Hudson, who, after serving 5 years as a St. Louis City police officer right here, left the department because he wanted to work on the systemic issues that were driving the behavior that caused people to get ensnared in the system. And so he went from police officer to activist and has held leadership roles in everything from the Urban League to the National Office of the NAACP to the ACLU. And he too has now brought this vast experience to the St. Louis Attorney's Office Diversion Program. We're grateful to have him here. And then finally, you know the last panelist, Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner. You know that she took office January 1 of 2017, that she, prior to that, served as a representative for the Missouri State Representative, where she represented District 77, had done a stint prior to that, during several years as an assistant circuit attorney. And as she mentioned in her remarks, and I think we definitely want to talk a little bit about more today, has the distinction of having a nursing background, which deeply informs her approach to how we address the problems that we see. So my first question is going to be for Jamala. So we know from a recent report from the Economic Policy Institute that the median income of white families is 10 times the median income of black families. We know from other research and resources that 1 in 3 black boys born today can expect to serve some time in prison. We know, and these are national statistics, nationally, that resources have been diverted from education, from health care, from the services that would actually address the drivers or behavior that cause people to be ensnared in the system. I would love for you to talk a little bit about how those sort of national dynamics play out here locally in St. Louis, where you have been in the fight for the last 5 decades. And can you talk a little bit about how you raise awareness about these problems?
So thank you for that provocative question. First of all, people should know that at the center of the criminal justice system, the way that they look at crime is through an anti-black lens. That anti-black lens has a devastating effect on black males, particularly young black males. So in almost all of the quality of life indicators, young black men are at the bottom. If anything negative, they're going to be at the top. So those statistics are real and live, and folks are living it every day. When you go to any of the justice centers or the prisons in Missouri, you see black bodies of males wasting away, literally. And it's almost traumatic to look at. But I also know that those folks were traumatized before they got to prison, they're traumatized in prison, and they're going to be traumatized once they get out. So one of the things we haven't dealt with well is the health and well-being of black males. Even as Kim talked about a number of the reforms in her office, she's using a different lens, you all. She's the what do you say, the harm reduction. This is an office that basically is counting up the black bodies that he could send away or kill. This is a new day for us. We're not quite used to this. We aren't. You know, I was listening to the amount of money that families have to spend just to stay in contact with their loved ones based on the contracts that we have with these phone companies. So this is money, y'all. This is money being made off of black bodies. But one of the statistics that I saw recently, and they did a graphic in the New York Times, is even when black boys come from middle-class families, their wealth starts to drop. I mean, and they showed it visually like it was going down. So what is happening, you all? Why are we not protecting the folks that need the most protection? And as a black feminist, I'm not saying that the way that these folks affect women are any better, but it's different. And so one of the things that we recently, and we've been studying this issue of violence in our communities, is that we finally got the attention of a group called Cure Violence that's going to be coming into St. Louis soon, I hope, with a lot of support from community folks. But it's a health model. Not a criminal justice model, not a crime. It's crime for prevention, but it's definitely a health model because violence, if you look at it, it spreads like an epidemic. And the kind of lives that we live in our communities based on lack of resources, lack of hope, you see that violence playing out in various ways. And so I just want to applaud the Circuit Attorney's Office in recognizing what the root causes are. Because that's the only way you can get the crime reduction, y'all. You can't do it by keep sending our people away. And so one of the ways that we've been doing it obviously is, you know, one-to-one, but lots of town halls about how are we spending our tax dollars. So we've spent in the city of St. Louis over half of our dollars are spent on a model that is arrest and incarceration. So that means a lot of what we need in terms of social services are not getting the due in terms of finances. So my thing today is to make sure that I'm challenging you all to make sure that you are, first of all, humanizing black males. Because even in our own community, we sometimes act like they are the problem and we treat them like pariah. So that's the first thing, and I'm sure you agree with that when you talk to these young men. So humanizing them, but also making sure that they have the supports in place before they get to prison, before they get victimized, before they get dehumanized. That's the challenge for us as a community and as a city. And so I'm going to just leave it at that because I have nothing to say about that topic.
No, thank you. It actually leads very nicely into my next question, which is going to be for Darren Steele. There's a misperception, and Molly just mentioned some of this in the video, that people are either victims or perpetrators. But what we know is that people who cause harm, and particularly for those of us who've worked in the system or been close to the system, I know in my personal experience, I've never prosecuted anyone for violent crime who in their background haven't been traumatized themselves, and that is the key across the board. So can you talk about how that dynamic has played out in your own personal experience as well as in the young men that you work so closely with?
Okay. Good evening, you all. That question is, when I was coming up, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. My mother worked at AT&T, Southwestern Bell. My father was going to take it back on the nowhere in the world I should have been to the streets. But once I got out of high school, in the neighborhoods you had fights, and you got just basically back then you just fight. So when they started shooting in '89, I got shot. So in my mind, was like, let me heal myself to go get some counseling. They never hit my neighborhood. It was like, now I got to pay you back. So '89 I got shot, '90 I got shot, '91 I got shot, '92 I got shot. 13 bullets in my body, and I still was going for more. My only thought that I might even survive to say, I'm not going to let y'all do this to me, I had to die. And most of these little kids, when every time you in St. Louis turning it back on me. And I can talk for every thug in St. Louis. Don't nobody chase that bullet. We ain't trying to die. But when it happened to you, it's like when you come to somebody and say, well, Darren got shot. We knew that was going to happen. So, it's like society was waiting on me to die. And it was like it was breathing on me. The more I wanted out, the more I got in. And then I started saying, something got to be wrong when I used to tell my mom, every weekend I'm going to a friend. So these were guys that's out here now, they just knocking on the door. And if we ain't listening, we're going to turn our back on them. Only time you all will listen if you knock at your front door at 3 o'clock in the morning. Then, I'm paying attention now. This been going on, y'all, way before it was born. Let's say 20 years ago. All the fathers was getting locked up. So guess who raising these babies now? Get a pack. Come on, bro, make me a little money. Once he die, you want to make some money? Once he die, you want some money? It keeps going. So now, like when I heard, and I can't tell you about what I was doing some crazy stuff. But when I heard this, Ms. Gardner was not locking folks up for weed, I was, be quiet, everybody, turn it up. And I started going. And I was nervous, y'all. When I started going and seeing all these police officers, I was used to going back in the room, but I wanted to see if I really could change. And I asked God, and every little dude that I talk to, I see myself. How do I change if I don't know how to change? Once you get that felony, you just bye and talk to you later. So these were guys just waiting on the way out. And what's going on now, we got a lot of people in a lot of nice positions that I see. The streets are actually, and I can say this is coming from the streets, you all. How do y'all expect the streets to get themselves together if y'all can't get y'allself together? It seems kind of weird that when I go on a block and I talk to the guys, they say, I'm the only prosecutor I heard of, and they say, well, you get guilty. I didn't know what a prosecutor was. So when they called me down, she said she wanted me, I was sweating bullets. I had to use the bathroom, I was sweating. I kept asking, can I do something? Hey, I called her, what my name? She said, they on me. And the same program that I started doing by myself, I was just tired, you know. December the 5th on my birthday, I was all dressed to go out there. I had to identify a 14-year-old little boy with 4 bullets in his head. That was a birthday gift from hell. So I kept trying, knocking on doors, going to everybody, I need help. She answered. She sent me a text and she was in the hood. My partner and them, they was selling weed on the block. They say, dude, you in some trouble? That lady down there in front of your building. I'm like, ooh, Miss Gardner. And she sent me a picture. And that's when I said, whatever you need me to do, I'm in. And I'm willing to go with anybody. Nobody's perfect. And I say this to everybody, if you think you're perfect, walk out. Everybody got their skeletons. But these little dudes is willing to chase 30 years to life in prison instead of going chase 4 years of high school. Because in the streets, these guys that's in the streets, they got love to offer. It's the wrong love, but only you got to be in the streets to understand the love. Can I get a job? That small box, you're a convicted felon. Okay, we'll call you next week. Thank you. Next week, same thing. So what I had to do, I tried to create something for me. My job was with no pay. The day she told me to come down there, these guys ain't talking, they can't come, I'm going to get them. It's about giving your all to save a life. I always tell the little dudes, let's say for instance, that little girl that got killed. I don't know her name, but I tell the little dudes, maybe God was going to put the next leader in that little child. But you killed him. Okay, God gonna say, let's go to somebody else. And we keep killing. A little boy told me yesterday in the juvenile system, I'm tired. 15 years old, what are you tired for? The guy said, I just want to rob. What are you robbing? They hopelessness, and it's taking us, black, white, green, red, whatever, to save this village. Because it will hit your household, I promise you, I'll tell you that. A lady in Chesterfield told me 5 years ago, I said, oh, it's going to come out there. It's just not happening in the city, it's happening out there too. So, Ms. Gordon, what you doing? I can say this, I'll speak on, as they say, the block. They want out. St. Louis not opening up that door for them. If you open up that door, I guarantee you, and can I break this down right quick? I tell the dudes, if you can rock up dope, you're a chemist. You can count that money, but you won't go say, welcome to Bank of America, my help. They got all these guns, but they're scared to go say, can I join the force? Somehow we got to get together as a whole. Just had one conversation with a guy with his pants saying, so pull it up. A thug will not disrespect you unless you disrespect him.
That's right.
They smart, they smart. Because when she said something about diversion, I'm about to cry when I say this. This is the diversion.
That's right.
I changed my life. And it's a lot more. Let's say Victor Moore, he worked side by side with me. 30 years in a box. He should be somewhere sitting on the block like, not even in his right mind. Every day he get up and save a life, y'all. And we all got to do it. So.
Brandon, the next question is for you. One of the things we know is that when people are incarcerated, they are sent to conditions that are inhumane. are aware, just from the Close the Workhouse campaign, just how bad it can be. It's exposed to violence, exposed to other trauma, and so, and certainly very little access to the actual services they need. As a former police officer, can you talk a little bit about why the traditional law and order approach doesn't work, and why alternatives such as the diversion program are actually a better pathway to success?
Sure, I can do that, and I will try to be intentionally brief in my answer because I know we have limited time, and I do want to get to the audience questions. And before I answer, let me just personally thank, I see so many people here that I've had an opportunity to work with. I'm not going to call all of your names. I know that you've been fighting on behalf of our community for years. This isn't your first battle, but let me say that from the bottom of my heart, man, I appreciate you for standing with this woman as she comes under the predictable attack of every black leader that I've seen in my lifetime in this city who is taking an opportunity to stand up for our community and do the work that needs to be done to change the reality of the institutional racism that affects every aspect of life in this city. And I appreciate you, man. And you know it's coming back for us tomorrow, and so do we. So we'll rest on the merits of our work and the facts, and I'll respond to your question by saying this. We have a lot of homicides in St. Louis every year. That's not new. We've had hundreds and hundreds of murders in this city every year since I was a child in the 1970s. This is not some magical new thing, new formula. Oh man, this is a special configuration. We have to have a new response. We've had the same response. If you go back through the years, law enforcement has always had a targeted enforcement, saturation, intensified enforcement in an area. And what has it gotten us? Hundreds of murders a year and flooded prisons. And unfortunately, because, let me talk, man, and I'll promise to be brief. Because the genesis of the country, which you see presently its leadership is trying to return us to. The genesis of this country is its foundation in white supremacy. And that every system that we have had has evolved from that foundation. That's not an indictment of white people in this room. Why? Because those conditions pre-exist us. You didn't create them, I didn't create them. Our responsibility is to fully acknowledge them, the reality of them, and then do the work of breaking them down. So if I see a system in place that hasn't worked, and I know because what ultimately results, and I know those are good faith, I'm not saying, brother, I know Chief Hayden. I like Chief Hayden, I've known him for years. Public safety director, that was friend, fraternity brother. I believe that their motivation is good faith motivation. I just agree with the approach. Because what happens is you criminalize poverty. I've been shot at enforcing the laws in this city. I know what it is to put my life on the line and do the right thing for the community. But I also know what it is to be in the SCAT unit, Street Corner Apprehension Team, undercover drug buy operation. Chief Hayden, you'll appreciate this story. In the mid-90s, I had a sergeant. I was briefly assigned to the SCAT unit. That's the undercover unit. Sergeant Ron Clyde, good dude. He was going to show me how dumb the people in the district that I worked in were and put me undercover in a district that I had been a uniformed officer in. I kid you not, Chief Hayden. Sergeant Clyde, I don't know if he was thought it was a joke. Oh, they're so stupid they won't recognize you. Of course they laugh in my face frequently as the undercover. So he put me on the arrest team, which was where I belong. You have the undercover officers working in conjunction with an arrest team that's all clandestine and coordinated. But one time he took me out of district so that I could work as a UC. And I'm like you, Darren, I'm finally at the point where I can tell this story. I will. So, They took me out of the district. And I was undercover in a car that I was driving around in. We got to an area, designated area. And this brother we had spotted came out, I approached him. He approached the car. And we had a conversation about a buy. And at the UC, at the morning or the shift briefing at the top of the shift, the UCs get the word for the day. Changes all the time. The word is whatever I say. If I say this word, you know that I've just exchanged money for drugs and the arrest team needs to move in. The word could be anything. It could be ball cap, it could be cards, it could be anything, whatever. But the word is in the sentence. So this brother was about the age that I am now, man. I'm 54 years old. I think he was in his mid-50s. At the time, I was in my 30s at the time. And, you know, I talked to him and he said, okay, man, you know, I got it. I got to go get it. He had to go to his house. Now, the arrest team is in the area. They see this and they can hear it because I'm wired up. So they hear us talking and they can see his movements. They see him go to the house. They see him come back. They see him sit in the car with me. And he sat in the car with me, and we were about to do this exchange, and he, you know, mid-50s, and, you know, just, he at some point turned to me in the car and said, man, you know, I hate what I'm doing, man. I hate it. But this is what I have to do, man, to keep a roof.
Stay strong.
Over my daughter's head. I've got 2 daughters, and I'm all they had. My daughters are young, 12, 13 years old, whatever. You know. But they don't have anybody else. Their mother's a drug addict. She's never been a part of their lives for years now. In the neighborhood we live in, it's so dangerous, brother. I fear for my daughters all the time, but I'm a protector of theirs. And I provide as I can. I got high jobs, man, but I have to do this to make the ends meet. Yes, sir. He said to me, brother, I don't know what would happen to my daughters if something happened to me. And I'm standing, sitting there, getting ready to give this word. So, I reflect on that, man, because I've raised daughters. And I found myself in moments with my daughters, thinking about that, man. And his daughters. What the hell happened to his daughters after we sent them to prison? So that saturation approach and the criminalization of poverty breaks families and communities. And it targets those who have not. When we see the rich, your Jeffrey Epstein's raping kids. Right. Because he paid the damn judge and he bought all everybody in the damn system. Huh? So this approach is a reasoned approach. It is widely accepted, bipartisan acceptance for it nationwide up until Jeff Sessions took his position in the office and tried to take us back. And now Attorney General Boyd is just a servant to the president, his personal attorney for the doing everything he has to do. But in St. Louis, we have a real opportunity to make serious systemic change if we remain steadfast in the face of these garbage attacks against Kim through a highly manipulated process. Folks appointed their high school buddies as special investigators who have a damn piece of experience in the criminal justice system. You know, real estate attorneys out here chasing dreams. Let the grand jury expire, man, you're still gonna keep the investigation. I'll close with this. We have an opportunity to be part of a larger national conversation and a larger change. This has been ground zero for criminal justice reform ever since Michael Brown was murdered 10 minutes from my house. The space in which the attorneys that you see present, the advocates that you see present can operate in good conscience and in good faith and do what's right to make our system what we say it is. Equal treatment under the law a reality and not just a narrative of the country that we put on that awning that we advertise falls into the rest of the world. So, our approach is that.
So I am going to know that we're at time, so if folks who need to go, it is 7:30, but if y'all don't mind hanging out for a few more minutes, I'm going to ask if that's okay. I'd like to still get in a couple of questions from you all. And Kim doesn't know that I've changed the question, but I feel like it's what I want to ask Kim is, what she doesn't know is how she's a shooter to me personally. With her ability,
You made me start crying. You made me start
I
crying.
think I started.
Thank you, Johnny. You made me start crying.
her ability to get up every day and do battle in spite of the attacks that she's under is just awe-inspiring. She is a warrior of none I've ever seen before. They come for her and she calls them and says, now what do I need to do to continue to do this work? And I just want to say, she's such an inspiration. I am so grateful to be with her in this work. And my question for her is, what gives you that drive? You know, what gives you that determination that in spite of them trying to take you out, that this work still motivates you to get up every day and keep going forward?
I just want to say thank you, Johnny and Vera, because you guys are my ride and die. But I also want to say a shout out. My mom is back there. She's leaving me, but she's always working. That's how I get every day. She will work. She's still back there. Has my back no matter what. That's my strength. My daughter, my family is my backbone. I appreciate them because they have to deal with the pieces sometimes that no one gets to see, but they stand with me regardless of what anybody says. My therapist is Mr. Victor Ali. Stand up, Mr. Victor Ali. You know, he gives me the legal skills because he actually defended himself and got himself out of a 30-year sentence. So I ask him for legal advice all the time. So we have these conversations of how we, have to fight the system that's coming at you. But, what gets me up is just, it's about the work and the people. It's about, I love the city. I love this city. I think about my father who unfortunately passed. He never got to see me take this office, and he always told me to fight for what's right, to fight for people who, sometimes people don't want to even see. They ignore. Fight for how we change a system that is doing what it's meant to do. It's doing what it is. It's going to put people in a system, and it's going to cause more harm. And it's not saying that we don't have individuals that we have to put in the system, but when you hear these stories and you see Mr. Reddick Hudson, one of the strongest men I know, and he's a police officer, for him to remember that pain, that shows you that we have to look at the trauma that people in the system, people who work in the criminal justice system have to experience by doing their jobs every day. It's about these young women who are addicted, these opioid deaths. We have more opioid deaths than murder rate right now going on, and we're not addressing that. I mean, we have to look at how we can put forth opportunities and address hope. I mean, we got to hope. I fight every day because it's not about me. I like to think it's about me some days, and I'm always reminded it's about those people on Natural Bridge and Core where I grew up that need someone to say, you matter. I mean, it's just about how we want to have a better quality of life. I mean, it's so many people I see that it makes me feel good because I haven't had, in one situation, I went to I guess the federal U.S. Attorney's Office was having a job fair. with many partners in probation and parole, and they invited me. And it was more humbling when it was an individual who was in the system. He said, look, I'm just gonna be honest, I hate all prosecutors, but I just wanna say, you know, good job. And I said, what? He said, good job. He said, it's hard for me to say this. I've never said this before to any person who's called a prosecutor. Good job for just treating us and giving us an opportunity. And it's about human respect and dignity. It's about, am I my brother's keeper? And we have to start being our brother's keeper. Because if we put the services up front and give that young single mom struggling, give her that help and support so she can take care of her kids, give her an opportunity so she can be somebody. We have so much human potential in our city that we are throwing away every day in the criminal justice system, and we lose billions of dollars just because they're just lost and gone. When we see the violence and we see these young people cut off from opportunities and they're inside those caskets, because I'm a funeral director also, I'm a nurse, funeral director, so I can save you, I can bury you, I can do whatever. So I have a wide variety of skills. But what that taught me growing up on National Bridge and Core, and I actually lived on top of a funeral home and seeing those families cry. I said if I ever had the opportunity to make a difference, I want to stop that victimization, stop families suffering, because, you know, we all suffer. No matter what your title, what your degree is, what your accolades are, we all are affected by the criminal justice system. And we have to all understand that we're one decision from being in the same situation. And so we have to stop penalizing and degrading individuals who are affected by crime or a perpetrator of crime, and give them the respect regardless of what the outcome in this system is. Give them the respect to say, and treat them with respect, because that's what's lost here. We're losing respect for each other.
Yes.
And that's what gets me up every day. It's the fight. Because we gotta stop this rhetoric of divisiveness. We have to stop this rhetoric of misinformation. And like I said, it's not about me, it's about the people. It's when you're challenging power and you're challenging status quo and holding on to this power of the system and how it's been used, the system is going to try to run over you also, but we're not afraid. The people of the city of St. Louis put me in place not to be afraid, not to back down.
So I have a few questions, and we'll just take a few minutes. The first question is, what do you believe has caused the city, besides St. Louis, to have double the incarceration rate?
Targeted enforcement. You go out to get people, you get people. So you saturate communities. Unfortunately, it's very easy to put people in the system. I don't know what the statistics are or the averages are, but if you pull up a car with 4 subjects in North St. Louis, there's an excellent chance, depending on the age of the occupants, that 1 or 2 of them, maybe 3 of them, sometimes all 4 of them have bench warrants or some issue that connects them to the system. And you pull them in, and it's a cycle and it repeats itself. So I think it has to do a lot with aggressive enforcement.
We'll take one more question. I realize I was getting late. This one says, regarding the exclusion list, how can we residents influence the city police department to rid our city of such dishonorable things? Maybe I'll direct that one to you. It was for well, it's asking about what the community can do. That's why I thought about it.
So, some of us have been trying to get, not the names of the folks on the exclusion list, but to get what their offenses were, so that we can really start to track. Are folks falsifying, police reports? Are they planning drugs? What is it? Because to me, just saying I forgot how many now, but I know there was some added on after the Plainview project, but there's a heap of them on there that, as far as I'm concerned, are undeserving to wear a badge and a gun. Because if you spewing all that hate on Facebook about her, me, him, and folks that look like us, I don't know what you're going to do to be in a dark alley or even a lighted alley. So I don't think it should work. So I really would want to know how to get rid of them. And I know there's a union for them and all of that, but to me, this is kind of them coming to their own policies and procedures. But the other thing again was, if we are going to root out the behaviors and not necessarily like focusing on the individual cop, we need to know what they've been accused of and how can we then, for Chief Hayden and his crew to say, here's some patterns. And obviously they've been for a while, because some of these people have been police officers for a while, and they've been doing this for a while. Why are they still working now? Why are they still working?
And then I just want to add briefly, I see she made that return. I would say this to the chief. In those instances, man, you would get the same pressure. When you start to come at some of these officers, they're going to give you that same pressure, man. If you challenge those officers like this clown that wants to use the Punisher logo as all his officers' social media symbol and everything that represents, particularly in this city, the community will stand with you, man.
I'm going to invite you back up for our closing.
Let's give them a hand. So we want to be conscious of the time. We want to close. I want to invite Pastor Duvall, Philip Duvall, to come up and close us with prayer. For those of y'all who may not relate in that way, please don't be offended. But those of us who are believers, we know how we got here and why we've been successful, so bear with us.
Like I said, Judge Edwards and Chief Hayden, if you would start making your way down here to the front, please. Just want to make some very brief comments. I know the president of the NAACP, Mr. Pruitt, started the comments this evening talking about people of color coming to the shores. I want to do a quantum leap. When we look at the justice system, we know something about Jim Crow laws. And so as a young man in this city, I could not help but understand the history of Jim Crow laws that still seem to grip this state of Missouri. So what I see very ironically, and we're going to ask the chief and the public safety director, and we have the circuit attorney's office, something that I want everybody to get a visual relative to Jim Crow laws. It's not who the highest police chief is, because he's enforcing those laws. It's not the public safety director, the judge, the former judge. And it's surely, after listening to this presentation, not the circuit attorney. What we're missing here is those judges that sit on the bench. I'm not calling them Jim Crow, but I'm saying they're Jim Crow-like in some of their decisions. So all of us need to recognize what we're in. And last Friday, I know y'all saying, see, the Baptist preacher, he ain't get up and pray. Last Friday, I had the luxury of hearing the Doobie Brothers from back in the day. And this song, I've been listening to it in my head all week, taking it to the streets. So we have a responsibility, everyone in here, to take this message to the streets. We appreciate everything that the media and the press attempts to do, but I'm calling on every one of you to take this message to the streets. I also want to acknowledge Reverend Darrell Gray. Would you stand, brother? And also I recognize Reverend Clyde Crumpton out there. Would you stand, Reverend? For those of you who are willing, will you please stand and let us receive this prayer. Again, we want to thank Chief Hay, we want to thank our Circuit Attorney, we want to thank Judge Edwards. It requires these components. In spite of everything people used to listen to, the city needs to know that it's a united front for criminal justice reform, and we all support them, we stand with them, and we need to understand that it's a real united front, not just a photo op, but they're working together to heal this violence in our city. Let us pray. Eternal God, our Father, we pause and give thanks for your many blessings, for your tender mercy. We thank you, God, for understanding. We ask, Lord, that you continue to bless our leaders, to bless the circuit attorney, her and her entire office and her staff. Continue to bless and grant wisdom upon the Public Safety Director, Judge Edwards, as he carries out his mandate. And Lord, continue to bless and crown our chief with the ability to carry out. Oh God, we now leave this place. We ask for protection, for understanding, for healing power and reconciliation. We ask it all in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, man. We truly appreciate your efforts.
Wow.